What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and I'm back at it again to bring you 40 facts on the Warhammer 40k universe. But this time, it's a little different. We will be diving into the lore of my personal homebrew chapter, or better yet, homebrew legion, the 11th Legion, the Celestial Sons. So if you guys don't know, I've been making this legion for over a year, about a year or so. And I've been trying to make it my own, redoing things, getting the models for it, getting the rules for it, and whatnot. So if you guys want a little bit more information on that, I will put, I think I've got like 2 or 3 videos. But anyway, I'll put the links down at the end of the video so you guys can click on them and head on over there and learn more about this legion. So basically, this is a brief overview, and then we'll get to the meat of this video. So they are the 11th Legion, the Lost Legion, known as the Celestial Sons. Their Primarch is called the Light of the Imperium, Alec Elric. Their Legion colors are white, gold, and red. They specialize in being powerful psychers, adept at pyromancy, fulmination, and their own discipline called Celestium. Now their objective in 30k was to free humankind from Xeno control and to bring them under Imperial rule. But a whole bunch of stuff went down, and now in 40k their objective is to revive the Emperor by controlling the Catan, known as the Void Dragon, and utilizing the Golden Throne's machine spirit to revive him that way. So yes, they have a huge task ahead of themselves, and they are severely crippled due to some stuff that we'll get into in later videos. But for now, this is what I want to talk about. So what this video is mainly about is I'm going to be showcasing the models that I have painted up for my army. Now if you guys, what you see here, this wasn't painted by me. This was by a painting studio called SmellsLikeWargaming. This guy is amazing. He's based out of Colorado, I believe. But anyway, he does everything so amazing. The little intricate details, the basing, the highlights, everything is amazing. Just go check this guy out. I'll put his Facebook in the link below so you guys can see his other work. Now, on to the meat of this video. So everything you see here is what I have painted so far. It's a bunch of awesome stuff. You've got my second in command, Commander Oros. Now this guy is a beast. I kind of used the stats from Sicarius and added a few things here and there. We'll get into the actual stats for all these guys later on. But just look at this guy. He looks amazing. The actual mini that I used for him was the Forge World Armillus Dynet of the Alpha Legion. Love the sculpt. He's got a freaking hammer and a sword. So pretty amazing there, guys. Next up, I've got my Celestial Sun Tactical Squad. These guys are Forge World as well. They've got the Emperor's Children's shoulder pad and helmets, which kind of makes them look a little bit more distinct from all the other Space Marines, which I think is pretty cool. I've got 2 squads of these painted up. This is one batch here, and then what you will see in a little bit is the other batch. So I like them. They're just generic Marines, but every army needs them. And then we have the Droppods. So for the vehicles in the army, I kind of wanted to do a different color scheme instead of the white and red. Now for these, I wanted to do more of a darker color to give them contrast, make everything on the army kind of pop. So I decided to go with the black and like the highlighter blue. So for the Droppod, it looks basically dark, which is going to make everything around it kind of pop, like I said before. Now I do have another flyer. It's basically a Nephilim, and it is dark and it's got blue highlights on it. I'll show you guys that in another video, but for now I'm just showcasing you the stuff from SmellsLikeWargaming. So moving along, we have the Catan Shard, the Form Seeker. So this is the one that I made a video of the last time. I was trying to figure out what kind of model I could use to kind of get this thought in my head of the Catan Shard into model form. And I decided to go with the Age of Sigmar Sylvaneth model. I think it looks great. It's painted up really good. Really pops with that blue. Again, awesome stuff from Smells Like Wargaming. And then lastly, I have a Chaplain from, I believe is the Battle or Betrayal at Calth. I'm probably going to use him as like either a librarian or a captain. I don't know. But yeah, it's basically a chaplain, so I might have to convert his, what's that thing called? Crozius Arcanum, I believe. I don't know. I think it's cool. Again, I decided to go with the darker color scheme to differentiate him from the rest of the Celestial Sons. Now, for the rest of this video, I will be talking about the Celestium Discipline for my Celestial Sons. Basically, this is the psychic discipline that I created specifically for them, and I need your guys' help. I want to find out if you think the rules for it and the names of the abilities is fitting, or if it's too OP, or if it needs any tweaks here and there. And in the background, I'm going to show you the older stuff that I have painted up for my Celestial Sons. So let's begin with the Primaris Power, Solar Lightning. It is a Warp Charge 1, and it's a template, Strength 5, AP 4, Assault 2, Soul Blaze. Now, I've been kind of thinking to toning it down to Assault 1 since it is just a Primaris Power. But exactly what this is that the Celestial Sons are channeling the power of the sun itself. The Psyker launches a blast of fire and lightning at his enemies, igniting their very souls. So again, guys, let me know what you think about this power. Next up is Force Channeling. The warrior Psykers of the Celestial Sons pour forth their psychic energy into their blades, so much so that a scratch will result in instant death for the enemy. It's a Warp Charge 1, and the Psykers' close combat attacks have the instant death special rule. So essentially, this is force and close combat. Moving on, we have Gravity Crush. By utilizing their psychic might, a Marine can multiply the gravity on a small area, crushing anything unfortunate enough to mere ashes. It's a Warp Charge 1. It is a Witchfire, that's range 18, Strength Dash, AP 2. It's Blast, Concussive, and Graviton. So to wound is always equal to the armor save of the target to a minimum of 6+. Against vehicle, a roll of 1 to 5 does nothing, but a 6 causes 1 hull point to be lost and an immobilized result. So basically, this is the Graviton guns from the future, kinda shifted down to a psychic ability for 30k, Marines. Next up, we have the Solar Flash, which is the Psyker launching an attack that blinds and disorients the enemy, leaving anyone in close proximity open to attack. It's Warp Charge 1, and Solar Flash is a blessing that targets the Psyker and his unit. If there is night fighting, those effects are negated for this player turn. Any enemy unit that not embarked on a vehicle suffers a -2 to their ballistic skill, weapon skill, and initiative until the end of the player turn, as long as they are within 12 inches of the unit who cast this ability. So basically, this is something to mess with your opponent. Let's say they've got like a super powerful Death Star. You could use the Solar Flash and basically reduce their weapon skill and initiative so low that you're going to go in there first and kind of hit them hard until they get their sight back next turn. And on to my favorite of their psychic powers, the Lance of Light, Warp Charge 2. A Celestial Sun Space Marine can summon forth 2 powerful bolts of white lightning that he can hurl at the foe or use in close combat. These bolts are easily capable of piercing the thick plating of the legendary Land Raider. Each bolt can be used as a melee weapon or fired as a ranged weapon. The melee profile is range dash, strength 9, AP 2, melee, armor bane, and flesh bane. The range profile is 12-inch range, strength 9, AP 2, assault 2, lance, armor bane, and flesh bane. Moving on, we have the Celestial Alignment Psychic Power, which is Warp Charge 2. The stars themselves have changed the strands of fate, granting the Celestial Sons insight on their opponent's actions. The Psyker and his unit can re-roll any failed armor or invulnerable saves until your next turn. And lastly, we have their strongest power, the Solar Bolt Orbs, which is a Warp Charge 2. The Psyker manifests flaming orbs crackling with psychic lightning. The strongest psychic ability of the Suns, this orb can be launched at the enemy, resulting in a devastating explosion, or the orb can be used to protect the Psyker from incoming fire. The Solar Bolt orb is a blessing that targets the Psyker. This power can only be cast successfully once per Psyker. Once successfully cast, roll a d3. The result is the amount of orbs summoned. These orbs can either be used to regain lost wounds up to your maximum original number of wounds, or they can be fired with the following profile. Range 24, Strength 9, AP 2. Type, Assault 1, Large Blast, Soul Blaze. And there you have it, guys. Those were the psychic powers of my Celestial Sons. Let me know what you guys would change, what you would switch, changing up the strength, the AP, range, whatever. Any insight or tips that you have for me is greatly appreciated. If you guys think you have a better psychic ability, let me know and I may just switch one out. Again, guys, any help is greatly appreciated. Once again, big thank you to all you guys who stuck around and are giving me insights and tips to this army. Huge thanks to SmellsLikeWargaming for painting the amazing miniatures that you have seen here. If you guys have any other questions, you need help on your own, custom Space Marine chapters or whatnot, feel free to hit me up on Facebook or down in the comments below. As always, I have been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I am out of here.